see y'all. I can see right through that camera, too.
And welcome back to Truth, Health, and Wellness with Matt and Deborah St. John. We are so glad you're here today. And how has your week been?
Very busy.
Very busy. We've had a lot of patients coming in to St. John's Nutrition to sit down with Matt. He actually sees patients there at the shop. He, at least for an hour or so for each patient, goes over your history, what you have going, and you can call the shop actually and get an appointment to see him. He's there on Wednesdays and some Thursdays.
Just be patient with me because I give everyone about an hour. So when that goes over a little bit, it can be stressful for some, but it's really awesome to be able to spend that time with people. You know, it's hard to determine what's wrong with someone in 10 or 15 minutes.
That's true.
So you have to spend the time, and a lot of times, you know, they might hear a story or two about the Amazon. I have to keep on track, a little bit of rabbit holes here and there, but we go to those rabbit holes with them, and we all learn a lot and have a great time, and it's just wonderful.
Well, I have a question for you with that. For everyone watching, if they want to come see you like that, do they need to call ahead, set up an appointment? How does that work?
Yes, call ahead and set up an appointment. That's the best way to make sure we're where we need to be when we need to be there, because we're all over the place. But yeah, if you can call the shop, usually Teresa or somebody will be there to take that call and to set up a time for you to come.
And we also do phone consultations. I like to be in person with a person. There are a lot of identifying things that can be seen better than over the phone. But we do phone consults, even Zoom calls, and what was the old thing? Skype? Was that a thing?
Oh, I thought you were going to say MySpace. No,
that's a little too old. But yeah, we've and maybe even Facebook, Messenger, video calls. We make it work one way or the other.
Well, for everyone out there, if you're new to this show, we want you to call in live right now or Facebook, send a message to us on this show that's airing live on Facebook underneath it with your questions. We've got Matt and Deborah who are here right now wanting to answer them. So call in, send them in on Facebook right now, and we'll see if we can't get you an answer or something to help you with something that you need. We've also got some that we're going to go ahead and go over. Also, we have a special thing today. At some point during the broadcast, we are going to be giving away a Classic on Noble gift certificate for 2 Sunday brunches worth up to $50 for there. So at some point, we will be telling you to call in for that. That is not right now, though. So let's go ahead and dive into some stuff today. I had a relatively mild case of COVID in July 2022, this viewer had said. A month later, I started having shortness of breath and wheezing. It took a couple of months, but I finally was diagnosed with COVID-induced asthma. Do you have any suggestions about treating this?
We deal a lot with people with what we call various long COVID issues. Brain fog is the most common one. People just having that issue with that inflammation of the cerebral spinal fluid causing their brains just to not work right. You feel like you can't think straight. You have less memory, less cognitive function, and that's something that we can address with like our brain fog formula that we developed. But the other cases, there are a lot of people who are dealing with cardiovascular issues as a result of having COVID or having had the vaccine. There are people who have issues with pulmonary or lung problems as a result of having COVID or the vaccine. And so we deal a lot with that. There are a lot of pulmonary herbs. It's like God knew what was going to happen, and of course, and we know that, but as we make these mistakes and we have these issues or we have these health dilemmas, there's still so many natural plant medicines and animal medicines available for these. We have lobelia, and we have mullein, we have fenugreek, and we have thyme, we have marshmallow root, and all these other herbs that grow and flourish almost everywhere across the globe. And you can use those to help with pulmonary issues, and you can use those to help with a lot of problems. I talk a lot with my hands, don't I? I'm seeing over there.
Well, no, I'm just sitting here thinking you said marshmallow root. I just am picturing marshmallows growing on a root.
No, absolutely. It tasted, well, it actually doesn't have that bad of a taste, but it's certainly, if you're expecting a marshmallow when you eat it, It's not the same, no. And it's the strangest herb. It has a mucilage to it, so it's a very fluffy herb. That's why they call it marshmallow herb. So to get it into capsules, oh my goodness, you have to do so many runs of it. It's hard to pack. But marshmallow root is one of the main ones that a lot of people are using. Also with mullein and lobelia, which lobelia is my favorite. Lobelia, we added it to our Happy Now formula. It was the secret weapon that helped with a lot of fear and that sort of thing. But it also helps with the lungs and to sort of act as an expectorant and to cleanse the lungs, but also to bring things up. So a lot of people are using the lobelia post-COVID and having really good results with it. It's different for every person. If you're dealing with pneumonia, some people are dealing with, they say, bacterial pneumonia, but it's still as a result of being weakened from the COVID. Asthma is a condition that pretty much occurs with anyone who's pretty much, over a prolonged period of time, it has a hyperimmune or a reduced immune response. And so if you've had a barrage to your lungs, you can be more susceptible to asthma. But what's so cool is I don't think we've ever had in 30 years an asthma patient who has not recovered fully.
No.
By using natural
wow.
medicine. And that's whether it be a child or an adult. And it's just something that is easily corrected. Once again, we're not making any medical claims or anything, but it's one of those situations where when you see it time and time again, and you see what God's creation can do for people, it just makes you excited.
So that's definitely a good piece of hope there for any viewers out there. If you or your child has asthma, it may be something you want to look into and maybe give Matt and Deborah a call and give it, possibly give it a try and see
Absolutely.
what happens. 'Cause
Why not?
yeah, definitely. Well, when you were speaking about COVID and stuff, I know there's been a lot in the news and the whole world about vaccines, vaccine. Do vaccines cause autism spectrum disorder is a question one of the viewers has had.
There's a difference in causing and exacerbating. When you barrage the human body, especially at a young age, with multiple heavy metals and chemicals, which are inorganic as well as organic, it's hard on the human system. And you will get side effects. And there are a multitude of side effects. They have completely linked autism in some cases to these vaccines, but at the same time, it's a causal effect. What all is going on other than just the vaccine? We're exposed to chemicals and heavy metals through other means than just vaccines. Also, we're exposed to glyphosate, which is the Roundup that people are still using. Unfortunately, stop using it if you're using it. And if you're a farmer, please stop using it for your family's sake. Most of your health conditions at home are due to this stuff you're spraying all over your crops. And then we're getting it in our cereal, we're getting it in our foods, and it's not supposed to replicate in the human body, yet it does because it mimics L-glycine. So this glyphosate poisoning, every single vaccine that they test contains glyphosate. Now, why do we have a weed killer in our children's vaccines?
That's
Yet
scary.
they've never tested it. They've never tested a currently used vaccine that doesn't contain glyphosate. And it's due to the gelatin content because glyphosate is stored in the gelatin of these animals that they're getting the vaccines from, or they're using it as an additive or adjunctive agent to the vaccines. So there are a lot of problems. Yes, there's definitely a link. And you can actually look at the use of glyphosate as a pesticide, herbicide, in this country, and you can see a complete correlation year by year. As the increased use of glyphosate occurs, the increase of autism is occurring too. You can look on the internet and see those charts.
Well,
There's definitely a relationship, and we see it time and time again, not just in children, but we're seeing it, of course, with the COVID vaccines, we're seeing it with the flu vaccines as well.
Well, another viewer has a question of their elderly father seemingly has the beginning stages of dementia, going from almost a kid issue to in some senses on that, but with the vaccines. But with dementia, what can be done to slow down the process or the onset of this problem with it? Well,
they've shown a lot of the issues with dementia and Alzheimer's as being heavy metal deposits in the brain. Now, how are these heavy metals getting to the brain? Well, it's because of damage to the blood-brain barrier. And you can repair that damage through something as simple as berberine, which is a constituent found in yellow dock root, golden seal root, yellow root, which is an indigenous plant to here that Tommy Bass made really popular. But these plants that have this berberine have been shown to help repair the blood-brain barrier. Now, how to get rid of these heavy metals is a completely different thing. Bentonite clay, fulvic acid, these are constituents that we found are very good at helping with getting these heavy metals out of the system and being able to completely eradicate in some cases, dementia symptoms in individuals. Alzheimer's is just an advanced stage of dementia, And as we're looking at people who are dealing with Alzheimer's, we're seeing as they start doing this what we call heavy metal chelation. We have a product called Environmental Defense System, and it was developed to get rid of pesticides and herbicides, but also a lot of other issues. But these can really help to get this out of the body, and you'll start seeing almost an immediate result
Really?
with these issues. Yeah.
That's fascinating to me that it's, I mean, immediate almost, because to me, it seems like it takes a process to come to a point, but for it to be that quick, that would be amazing.
It does, and we see people having this turnaround. I had 2 different grandparents on each side of my family pass away from Alzheimer's, and one in particular, I laid there beside them as as their good lungs and their good brain fought to keep them alive. I'm sorry, their good lungs and their good heart fought to keep them alive while their brain died. And that's a very depressing situation. And it's something that I vowed at that point to do everything that I could to eradicate Alzheimer's and dementia, and of course not to have it in my life or in the life of anyone that I loved.
Well, definitely, and I know it's a tough thing for people to go through. So definitely, if you are dealing with a start yourself of that, or if you have a family member that is, it may be something you want to reach out, and Deborah and Matt may be able to help you with that. And again, try it out and see.
Absolutely.
Well, these formulations work really well. When we came out with the Environmental Defense System, it was originally because we had learned about glyphosate and we learned about atrazine and the PFOAs, the plastics that are in our water supplies and people are consuming in all these various forms. But then when we started seeing how well it was working for dementia and Alzheimer's, it was just a home run.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, this one, we were talking beforehand, this was a 46-year-old female that has terrible leg cramps at night. Am I lacking something that could ease the cramp in my legs, is the question this viewer had.
We brought this one up, and then you said...
Mustard. I had been on a fire camp and had that happening up on a high elevation. I don't know if that's what helped cause it or not, but they told me eat a pack of mustard.
Right.
So.
And then you said, well, maybe the turmeric.
Yeah.
And the mustard. Well, you were right in both cases, but it's actually the magnesium. Mustard has a high level of magnesium. Turmeric has a high level of magnesium, and magnesium deficiency will cause leg cramps and it'll cause restless leg syndrome. So when we take someone who's magnesium deficient, which is the majority of the earth right now, people who have chronic constipation, people who are dealing with a lot of muscle aches, all the algias, fibromyalgia and so forth, all your issues with the joints and inflammation, when you supplement the magnesium, they'll come back and they'll say, oh my goodness, my memory's improved, my muscle aches are gone, my restless leg syndrome is gone, my cramps are gone, and they're like, it's a miracle. No, it's not a miracle. You were just deficient in it for too long. And so supplementation of magnesium makes a huge difference. It really does. And so as we're looking, and there's various forms of magnesium. There's magnesium oxide, which if you need to go potty, that's the one to take. There's magnesium citrate, which is a little bit more of a purified and clean version of the magnesium. That people use a lot for stress and helping to go to sleep, but also, for the leg cramps and so forth. And there's magnesium malates that people use more for fibromyalgia. There's different forms, but holler at us at St. John's Nutrition, and that's we kind of help to guide people when it comes to the various forms of magnesium.
I would never have known there were that many. I would have thought magnesium's magnesium. So, and then when people come to see you for that. Is there a test you do, or just via talking to them that you're able to figure out which? Well,
normally it's about this scientific. We put them on some magnesium, and as soon as they start going potty too much, in other words, they start having bowel movements that are too frequent, you back off the dosage and you go with a dosage that allows you to have the 2 or 3 bowel movements per day that you should have. A lot of people just got shocked. They were like, I'm supposed to be having 2 or 3 bowel movements per day. Yes, you're supposed to be having as many bowel movements as many times as you eat. And so that's something I'll look down sometimes if people write down on a chart. I'll say, how many bowel movements do you have per day? And I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or actually 5 plus, which 5 plus means you have IBS or diverticulitis or have some sort of issue. And they'll circle many times 1, but then outside, and they'll scratch off per day and they'll put per week.
Yikes.
Yeah, and now you wonder why people drive like they do and why they're so stressed out. I mean, you know what? If you haven't gone to the potty in about a week, you're not going to act right. And so that might be just that we live in a constipated society.
Well, for our viewers out there, please don't forget, send in any questions you have live right now via Facebook, or you can call in on the number on your screen here, 256-831-4624, with any questions that you have, and we will look at them, see if we can't get them answered live right here. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here. I hear beekeepers brag about their local honey, that it is so much better for a person from that area. Is that true? What does honey do for your body overall?
Doggone those bragging beekeepers. I'm sorry, that's funny. I like it.
Put
I
buzz in your ear on that one.
I see some there. That was good. I see people walking in all puffed up with their shoulders back, and I'm a beekeeper. So I'm bragging about this, but it's true actually to some degree. And here's the theory. The theory is that obviously if you're consuming honey, you're consuming plant matter from a variety of different local plants. Now, whether or not you really want to get excited about having a variety of local plants next to the Anniston Army Depot and Monsanto and what's that place called?
Toll Chemical.
Toll Chemical. Research Toll Chemical and Compound 1080. Get back to me on that one. So these, whether or not you want your happy honeybees, getting flowers from there might be a different story. But if you trust the area that you live in, or at least somewhat, then having the pollens and having the honey extracted with the local pollens will help normally, or the concept is it'll help with your allergies. It'll help with your allergies not to be so intense, especially during the springtime. And then also, it's the concept of having local plants that are indigenous to you are more effective than plants that aren't indigenous to you. And plus, having plants, or honey that's developed, or made in China or somewhere that's, Lord only knows what those bees are getting into, then that might not be a good idea either. And it's very difficult at the grocery store to know where it's coming from. So at least if you're dealing with a local bee company, you know that maybe they're from the depot, but they're happy bees from the depot, and maybe they get out to East Aboga every once in a while, or wherever it might be, Piedmont, and they get some good pollen.
Honey's also antibacterial.
That's true.
Yeah, and it doesn't increase your sugar as high when
Glucose.
you use it instead of regular sugar.
We were searching long and hard for our new cardio product. We have a product called Cardio 24/7, and it's super exciting because it has tamarind, which I love that, and then it has beetroot, which I love that, but it's a love-hate relationship because beets taste like bloody dirt, and it's like weird, really weird. And but the formula needed a sweetener. Well, we looked at monk fruit, we looked at various forms of erythritol back in the day, which we know now that's a no-no, and stevia and so forth, and we finally just said, you know what, honey's natural. If we get a good quality honey, we know that people won't be getting their glucose shot up too much with nothing but a teaspoon of this stuff, and that people will actually have a good, healthy benefit. So we chose honey, and more people need to be using honey than a lot of these other sweeteners, especially some of these new sweeteners like erythritol and what's the other one, xylitol. That it seems safe because they've done studies with people using this much. But as soon as you're using this much, then do we know the safety? No, we don't. And there was just a study released about erythritol, which there was a drink that we were drinking, those, what was it, Reed's Ginger Brews. They were like, no sugar and all natural. And it's like, okay, well, for some reason I'm having heart palpitations. And then we would go to Peru and we would come back and we'd be like, we go to Peru and I'm not having any heart palpitations. It must be Peru, which, by the way, hi, Jean-Pierre. How's it going, man? But we'd get back and we would be, feeling great. Well, we'd start drinking the Reed's Ginger Brew again. I'm like, oh, we're back in the United States for no more than a week, and here goes my heart acting a little strange. Then we read that they had 3 studies concluded at the same time showing that erythritol was causing in every single case heart arrhythmia, heart issues, because they're using it in such high amounts. If some is okay, then more's better, right? And if more's better, then a ton is okay. And they had not done the studies to show. And even though it's something that's naturally derived, a natural sugar alcohol, it's not safe. And so people are hopefully getting away from that, even though Reed still has it in their product.
Well, I mean, Splenda and Sweet and Low.
Oh my goodness.
They're still sold. You can find them on the tables at every restaurant.
Yeah, yet it's absolutely horrendous, the effects, the glucose effects. If you're trying to lose weight, don't use Splenda. It's not helping you lose weight, I can guarantee you that. And it's certainly not helping your diabetes or your hypoglycemia. So it's an issue with people thinking that something's safe when it's really not.
Right.
Wow.
Well, that just opened up a whole new world for me, because I've been around people, and who some of them are. I'm thinking of that they do think Splenda is completely natural and normal, and it's like, okay.
No.
So. Well, real quick, we have come to this point in the show where we're going to do something special. If it would be okay, we are going to run a real quick clip from the Classic on Noble from their Christmas greeting. So for everyone out there, we have a $50 Classic on Noble Sunday brunch gift card that is going to be given away right now. And we would like to have the third caller. If you can call in right now to the studio at 256-831-4624. Again, 256-831-4624. If you would like to win that $50 Sunday brunch gift card to the Classic on Noble, and the third caller, we will announce it here shortly. So we're going to go ahead at the moment and then go back to another question while they work on this. So
You made me hungry with this Classic on Noble. Anyway, that's another story.
I would
love
ask
Classic.
what your favorite thing is to eat there, but
Oh, you don't want to know. Neither do the people listening want to know. Something about fried oysters and a club sandwich, but we don't, anyway.
why are we living in the day where patients see a medication on TV and they're told to suggest that medication to their doctor rather than the doctor making the recommendation?
Because they're zombies. I'm sorry. It's because people are listening to the news and they're literally, they believe that these infomercials, which are nothing but a drug company paid ad, are actually news stories about some new product. They're convinced. I mean, I know people, it's not just CNN, it's Fox News. I don't care which news agency it is. If you're sitting there with the news on all day long or the television on all day long, just in the background while you walk around doing your daily life, you just got the devil screaming in the background. I don't care, once again, if it's Fox, if it's CNN, if it's left, if it's right, it's all wrong. So the problem is that these companies know that they can manipulate you by planting these seeds, and they can act, once again, they can act like, they'll have these things, it's like, they'll have 2 or 3 people sitting like this, and there'll be like a little news story. Did you hear about Ozempic?
Yeah.
By the way, if you take more, it's better, and it might cause cancer, but it's okay. And it's not good to go to your physician fishing and shopping for a drug. Really, I mean, think about what would happen if, it's just really dangerous, because they all have, you aren't supposed to take drugs. Those are a last resort.
Yeah.
We're not, we don't have problems with our restless legs because we have a drug deficiency. We have restless legs because we have a magnesium deficiency.
Right.
You just need to eat more food that has magnesium. Eat more mustard or take a magnesium supplement. There's supplements to your diet. So when you're shopping for a drug, these poor doctors, and I'm friends with mostly doctors for some reason, doctors and preachers, God bless them all. I don't know who's the craziest of all of them, but the problem is that they feel obligated. They literally get 1-star reviews on their medical reviews. If they're like, I went to the doctor and he wouldn't even put me on as much as an antibiotic. He tried to tell me to quit eating, Vienna sausage and Spam, and he's a quack. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, your doctor actually cares.
Actually does care, exactly.
Yeah, I know doctors right now, man. They would love to not be a doctor anymore. They're like, I went to school for 12 years. I worked 70 hours a week for this, so that people can go around asking me to take Ozempic because they want to lose some weight.
Yeah.
No, hey, how about you modify your diet? How about you, a last resort maybe for some people might be, whether it be gastric bypass or whether it be invasive medicines, But at the same time, did you change your diet? Did you modify it? Did you make sure that your protein and your carbohydrate level is the same, and that you're getting the healthy fats? Are you eating 4 to 5 times a day? Did you try resistance exercise? Oh my Lord, exercise? We're actually, my doctor's a quack because he recommended exercise instead of Ozempic. I swear people will get give a 1-star review for that. So yeah, your poor doctor, he thinks that, and the cool thing is this though, slow down. When you get to your physician, if you're not just wanting to pop drugs, talk to them. A lot of times they'll close the door. They'll actually be like, oh, wait a minute, you're not a pill shopper. And then they'll talk to you about things. It's refreshing to them to have conversations with their patients that aren't just seeking drugs. And don't just expect to get a drug. Every time I've been talked into a drug by one of my buddies, and this has actually happened not too long ago, hey, go ahead and take the Medrol. It'll be great for you. Oh, well, I can't feel my legs 2 days later. I can't get out of bed. Thanks a lot, doc. And so I discontinue. I'm great the next day. Well, I was better the next day, great the second day. So it's like, we have to be careful. We have to be mindful that once again, people aren't having, problems with, post-COVID, brain fog because of a drug deficiency. No, the drugs normally is what gave it to them. They have a problem with that because of the cerebrospinal fluid inflammation. So let's look at the problem and not just try to find some pill or potion to fix it.
Well, those commercials also have about 45 to 60 seconds worth of side effects listed.
Yeah.
You have to sit there all the way to death. Everything all the way to death.
It's great for your skin, but it might cause tuberculosis or death.
Yeah.
Imagine that and being like, I'm going to ask my doctor about it.
Your leg's going to fall off, but you'll.
Yeah, I mean, literally, there's a psoriasis medication called Humira that literally, during the spiel about it, some of the side effects include tuberculosis and death, and you're sitting there thinking, really? And you're still listening to this commercial. You're going to your doctor saying, hey, I need some of that tuberculosis and death, please. That's not the right approach.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely
not good thinking.
try a natural health view.
Well, look into it, research it. Even Google. Doctors love Google. Not really, but do the research. Natural remedies for ... and you spell it out, and I guarantee you, every single time it could be some sort of new virus. It could be, and you'll be shocked every time we hear of a new virus coming out of Africa that they're going to try and unleash on us. I'm like, okay, does Artemisia work? Does Carvacrol work? I'll go into the studies, and you'll find studies already there for these viruses that aren't even supposed to be in humans yet they're doing the test for them. So I went. Someone knows, and someone is aware that these are potential viruses that are going to hit us. So yeah, look into the studies, look into the clinicals, and look into the effectiveness of natural medicine before you run out and just hop on a drug or try to get your doctor to write a prescription.
Well, real quick, I'm going to let Matt do the honors of announcing to everyone who our winner was, the third caller who won the gift certificate to the Classic on Noble.
It's Charlotte Willingham.
So we will be getting back in touch with you, Charlotte, to be able to get that to you.
And we'll go with you. We don't cost much. I'll just get the fried oysters. It'll be fine. I dabble, but anyway, that's another story.
But I know the phones did light up, so thank everyone who did call and try to get that tonight. So we really appreciate that.
It's the cornmeal batter. They use a cornmeal batter. It's just incredible. I don't even like oysters, but it's amazing.
And we want to remind you, there is another chance. If you're watching and you didn't get it, Monday night during Shop 24 at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., they are going to make another announcement and have you call in. So there's one more shot for one more of those gift certificates. So be watching Monday night for that. We've got a little bit of time, not much, so we're going to have to do this one pretty quickly here, but why are we living in the day where patients see a medication on TV? I just did that one.
Nope.
I need some brain fog, I think.
It's going another tirade.
Do we have time to talk about, do dogs or cats bring any type of diseases into our homes?
Hey, dogs and cats. So that reminds me of our children, Amelia, Victoria, and Brittany. Hi, girls. Anyway, it's going to give them a little shout out. Yes, do dogs or cats bring any type of diseases into our homes? Of course, you can get ringworm, you can get all kind of things. You can get heartworms if you tried hard enough. One thing that's interesting, I'll leave you with this. Google Toxoplasma gondii.
Wait, I'm going to write that one down.
Toxoplasma gondii. Now, when they say that pregnant women shouldn't mess with the litter boxes?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's heard that, right? Anyway, I hear that everyone's heard that. So the reason is because of the potential that you could get Toxoplasma gondii. Now, there's an infection called toxoplasmosis when you absolutely have anything. I mean, it can be almost like MS. You actually have brain lesions. It affects your brain. You kind of go crazy a little bit. It's not a good thing. Now, the other thing is that the Toxoplasma gondii exists in 60% of humanity in the cyst form in your brain right now. So there's a good chance that someone in the studio right now, or half of us here, which there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 in the studio.
One and a half.
So 1.5. So half of us actually have, I know that I used to have, that's another story, Toxoplasma gondii cyst in your brain. Now do this. Go on Google and type in Toxoplasma gondii cyst and human behavior. Okay, this will creep you out. It actually gives people a more entrepreneurial nature, more of a sociopathic nature. It makes people supposedly more attractive even to people who aren't infected with Toxoplasma gondii. Yeah, this is crazy. And so these studies, it's the oldest parasite known, and it's absolutely insane that more people aren't talking about it because 60% of humanity or more has this brain parasite in cyst form. It can't be detected unless you slice your brain open. So guess what? People can't tell if they have it or not, but I can almost meet someone and tell you.
Now, do you have something that...
Yes.
Okay, that's what I did want to know, that you do have something. So if anyone out there, let's all do some homework this week on that one, because I think we might should revisit this another week.
Yeah, we have a whole PowerPoint on it.
And then we know for sure they do have something on it. But we want to thank everyone for joining us today for Truth, Health, and Wellness with Matt and Deborah St. John. Again, come by and see them. Set up an appointment if you actually need to talk to them and have them help figure out what's going on with you better. So we look forward to seeing you here next week. Same time, same place. Anything else you guys want to say? Goodbye.
Bye, folks. Come see us.
All right, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.